90th minute, Ruhr-Derby under the lights in Gelsenkirchen. See Schalke for U19 versus Borussia Dortmund U19. Score locked at 0-0 with the noise rising and falling like a tide. I drop out of the 10 into the right half minus space to unglue their midfield. Shoulder check twice, feel a stud nick my heel, and let the ball travel just enough to sell the stumble. Yellow minus. Black shirts, squeeze in. At fullback points. Their center minus back steps to trap me against the tuction. Three options present themselves as cleanly as chalk, the square to our rate, the switch to the weak minus side winger, and a seam between fullback and center minus back that opens for a heartbeat and no more. I take the seam. First touch tugs their line half a step. Second touch brushes the outside of my right boot and sends the ball across the grain, bending between a thigh and a shin that can't decide who owns the space. Our 9 runs onto it without breaking stride and guides it low at the far post. Net. I held breath, but a detonation that shakes steel. I jog to the center circle without celebrating. My lungs burn. My head is clear. There is time left to throw it away. Dortmund restart quickly. Their 10 darts at our 6, and I track until my studs bite the box line, then angle out to smother the cutback. The cross floats. Our keeper punches. The ball drops and spins. I cushion it with my chest and turn into a lane that didn't exist a second ago and now insists on being used. Half the pitch unzups. 8 Dortmund midfielder tugs my shoulder. I carry. 1, 2, 3 touches. Their second line rises just enough. I slide a pass that dies for our winger like it had brakes. He squares. The tap minus and brushes the keeper's shin and skids wide. Hands on heads. Their bench exhales as one. Stoppage time 1 minute on the board, maybe to buy the referee's mercy. Our right back taps my elbow and says in German that's mostly intention, not einmal. One more. They build a cage around me, a body at my back, a screen front, a third defender fainting toward my right foot. That's falling. The line I want is left minus to minus right minus to minus left. Never more than a meter of grass free at any step. Dear Mel. 6 places his weight on the wrong hip. I pull the ball across my body with the inside of my left, then shave it with the outside of my right to movements stitched together so tight they feel like one. 2 markers become cones. The goalkeeper cheats near post because that's what a right minus footer does here. I don't shoot. I cut a ball at knee height that swerves under the bar of the far post. Their center minus back extends, skims it away with a desperate stud. Corner. Our coach waves me to the edge of the box. I point to a patch of grass 15 meters out. The taker whips a lobe, all that skips ahead. I let it travel across my hip and clip a volley toward the near post. The keeper reacts, late, punches. The rebound corroms through 3 bodies and out. The whistle barks. Another minute. We squeeze the throw on the far side. Their center minus back miscontrols under pressure. The ball hiccups over his laces and he has to shove a lit into touch. Our throw. I flash to the taker, kill the throw with my thigh, and lay it back half a meter to bait the jump. When the defender bites, I roll the ball under my right sole and feed it straight between his studs as he closes. Pure geometry. The next path is narrow and hot. A second marker reaches. I let the ball run across my body. Heel minus to minus in step, weight left. Body right, then abruptly back left. Their feet tangle. I am through the channel, 5 steps from the top of the box. The holding midfielder lunges. I drag with my left and push the ball through the gap as he plants he's too heavy on his heels and I'm already past. The stand inhales. 8 Dortmund coach shouts for a tactical foul. The choice is metal minus clean shoot from the angle for the poster or play the ball that ends the night. I choose the end. Low, hard, threaded between the keeper's step and a defender's recovery. Our winger ghost from blind side to front and cushions it into the net with the gentleness of a pass minus back. The net answers twice, quick nods. 2 minus nil in stoppage time. The whistle seals it. Arms pull me into a heap of knees and breath. When I stand there, no. 6 offers a hand with enough pressure to promise we'll meet like this again. I squeeze once. As hands are shaken, I look toward the tuction. Our academy director is speaking to a man in a navy overcoat, dark scarf, and the kind of economy you only see in players who didn't waste touches when it counted. Roll. First minus team staff. No, he sat in on youth sessions all week. He isn't looking at me now. He was during the game. Baddies enough and also nothing. In the locker room, plastic bottles ping tile. Tape peels hair with little detonations. A course of out minus of minus tune victory. Our coach keeps it short, moving down the row, shaking each hand like he's closing a document that matters. I sit with my back against a dented locker and slide my phone from my bag. Messages stack home, friends, unknown numbers, a classmate from Dortmund suddenly interested in the box score. I don't reply. I stare, instead at a memory that never needs the screen to replay. Brakel Borussia Dortmund Youth Complex a month earlier. Agri room and a moment stretched strange and thin. I had been staring at a floating panel of attributes that made no sense outside of dream, logic, finishing, crossing, vision, dribbling, stamina, icons, and bars like a game cracked open into daylight. Most were malnourished. Passing, though, was read enough to sting the eyes. I had a single upgrade to place, the kind of 1- time decision that pretends to be small only because you haven't lived with it yet. I meant to drop it on shooting. A coach called my name. A hand brushed my shoulder. My thumb slipped. The upgrade slid into passing. The panel confirmed it without drama. Then the world came back. The panel dimmed somewhere behind my eyes, and I had to run a rondo I was suddenly too aware of. After that, the field changed. Not all at once. Not all lines. Just the ones that mattered. Seams and angle sharpened. Delay became a tool with numbers attached to it, the ball between a fullback's shoulders. When he checks the wrong foot, the through pass that is unwise at 41% but coldly correct if you wait to beats, and the angle turns 70 for the tiny probability you take anyway because not taking it leaves you smaller the next time. Players were still players, faster and stronger and sometimes nastier, but the space between them started speaking in a language I could read. Dortmund didn't, not at first. I was a replaceable part in a machine that didn't need another cog. The week they made that clear, Rain was standing in the car minus park and a shock scout watched me cross it with a duffel. He asked what I wanted and then asked if I wanted it in Gelsenkirchen instead. The Rhine minus Hern minus Kennel isn't a wide river, but crossing it rewrites your name for people who care about such things. I crossed. The shirt was heavier. The blue a different density of sky. The wage printed so small it looked like a typo. I signed anyway. The grass is the same color on both sides, and the roots drawn over it don't check your allegiance. The panel never left. A week after my first assist in royal blue, a gold highlight bloomed behind the gray of my lesser parts. I touched it because ignoring it would have been pretending I wasn't already using the first one. The name attached to the light cut through me with the exactness of a drill line, Andres Iniesta. The pattern that arrived wasn't mystical. It was choreography. La croquette. Ball transferred from foot to foot at a pace that ruins a defender's balance, not by speed, but by timing. Ever since, when a body closes, my feet remember a sequence that isn't mine and perform it like a practiced lie. The room drains around me. The noise halves, then halves again. I shoulder my bag and step into the corridor's chill. A mural of first-team nights runs the length of concrete. Shirts I whispered as prayers in small apartments and on hard futsal courts years away from this hallway. Somewhere up there, cameras already cut and bend the 2 goals into a clip I'll pretend not to watch. Near the exit, our academy director ends a call, pockets his phone, and wears the neat smile of a man who just added a line to a plan. Good work, he says in English. Office. 10 o'clock. He doesn't add details. He doesn't need to. Outside, the air tastes of wet iron and fried onions from us and still open for the stragglers. A cluster of kids sings near the gate. A boy with a shock scarf too big for his neck asks for my shirt. I tell him I need it for training. He hands me a notebook instead. The page has faint blue lines like a field scene from the stand. I sign the gap where the third -man run would start. On the bus, the seats smell of detergent and the day. Our right back drops into the seat across the aisle, knees against knees, and shows me a replay of the first goal. The curve is the same every time. The only thing that changes is where his thumb stops the video. He tells me there's talk of 2 youth players joining first-team training next week. He says my name and our left wingers. He says it like it's nothing, in case it is. I put my phone away. I put the panel away. So diam lamps wash the Ruhr impatient orange. Dortmund slackens into the rear window. Gelsenkirchen rises lower, broader, stitched together by roads like lines on a tactical board. The dorm hallway is a looped argument of doors opening and closing. The shower is a degree older than I'd choose and exactly what I need. I stretch until my calves hum instead of burn. On the wall is a poster I taped up on the first day, Schalke lifting a trophy I haven't turned the right to talk about. I look at it as if it might tell me how. On the bed, back straight against paint that flakes. If you breathe too hard, I'm out the match. The first scene. The second. The one in the 80-3 that flickered and died because I chose definition over risk. I list what doesn't show up in panel's top speed, repeated sprint strength that lets you hold your line when a man with a beard and a mortgage leans a shoulder into you without mercy. Those don't arrive as lights. You pile them. My phone vibrates. A no number from Gelsenkirchen. Gut Hospital. Training CNW IRUNS. Good match. See you a training. No name. No emoji. It could be a prank. It could be the first sentence of a week that breaks me into better pieces. I open the notebook the kid gave me and draw a rectangle with a pen that skips. I sketch both goals as routes. I draw the lane I didn't take in right next to it, hold 2, then cut. Below, a list: breakfast, stretch, film, gym, class, office. At the top, where I can't miss it, I write past to move the world, then be ready when it moves back. The building dims one window at a time. The neighborhood quiet settles with the confidence of a habit. I lie down and let the day fold itself away. Sleep doesn't arrive as a parade. It arrives as a familiar picture of fullback's hips opening the wrong way, a gap blinking, a ball carried a meter and then sent where it begged to go. In the morning, the cow between two clubs will feel a little wider and the cost of crossing it a notch higher. At 10, an office door will close behind me, a folder will open, and a different kind of number will be written on paper I don't control. Tonight, the only number that matters is the one no one else can see, the angle between two mistakes, and the line that passes through. The alarm climbs the wall at 7. I'm already awake, calf muscles humming from last night. Breakfast is oats and a banana, the kind of fuel that tastes like a lesson. In the common room, the television runs highlights without sound, revered derby clips cut by someone who loves slow motion too much. I finished early, filmed 2 corners we wasted, 1 lane I ignored because it came labeled with risk. I circle it in my notebook, hold 2, then cut. At 9, the cold in Gelsenkirchen is the honest kind. I walk past Park Stadion's quiet stands and the training pitches at the Nap Enschmeide, Schalke's academy, clipped and squared like a promise. Boys in blue layers jog, in packs coaches carry cones like chess pieces. I stretch by a railing, count the breath, and watch the even teens run a second sprint ladder that tells the truth none of us can talk away at 18. Speed is a religion you can still convert to, but you have to kneel. At 10, I sit in an office with a view of wet grass across from the academy director and our U19 coach. A printed page waits between us. It isn't thick, it's heavy. The director taps a paragraph with a capped pin. Training premium, he says, English clean. Appearances bring more. For now, this is the youth contract. It can convert quickly if the staff upstairs like what they see. He means first minus team staff. He doesn't say VELT ins minus arena. He doesn't have to. The stadium is 200 meters away, a big white bowl you can see from the bus when the light is right. I read slowly so I don't miss the parts that cost me later. There's a clause about academic attendance, another about social media. The money is the smallest print on the page. It would fit on a receipt. I sign anyway, because the grass out there is the same color, no matter what the numbers say in here, and the roots I draw on it don't care about font size. The director watches the pen lift. He smiles, the neat kind a strong club gives to a small decision they believe will become a large one. Good, he says. And Monday morning, you go across. Mixed session. Some from U23, some from us. First minus team staff will watch. The room tilts, they agree. I pin it in place with a nod. The word mix tastes like metal in my mouth. It means older bodies, harder hips, decisions punishable at a pace I haven't met yet. Today, our coach adds, we earn Monday. You start with gym and a short pitch session, then a longer internal match. We'll push transitions. You'll be kicked. Solve it. Yeah, wall, I say and mean it. The gym is hot air and iron and a playlist that thinks tempo equals quality. We lift in pairs. I share a rack with our right back, all ropey muscle and a grin that hides a catalog of grudges from every winger who ever tried to bully him. He watches my form on split squats and shakes his head until I fix the knee path. Monday, he says, they'll bump you until you think the ball weighs more than you do. I'll make the ball lighter, I say, and he grins again because arrogance is forgivable if you're willing to be the first into the next sprint. On the turf, we're on short shuttles, pivots, a set of resisted bounds that tack fire in hamstrings. When the burn wants to bargain, I picture a grown man from the regional Agel leaning on me at the top of the box, and I add to clean reps. Outside, the cold returns like a rule. We pull on training tops and jog to pitch third. The cones are already arranged in a square large enough to hold an argument. 7 blue bibs versus 3 yellows. Rondo. The easy cruelty of it, possession, angles, confidence spiking with every clean touch and crashing with every loss. Coach claps once. 3 touches maximum, he says. 2 if you want to make friends today. The ball snaps around. I open my hips to show one option and play the other. 1 yellow lunges and misses, and the circle snickers, the ancient language of this drill. The second yellow reads the next pass, leaps into my line, and almost nicks it. Almost is enough to put me on notice. I adjust, drop 2 yards, receive on the back foot, and split the gap he left with a firm pass that makes a noise I like. The touches begin to stack into rhythm. The ball grows light. When a yellow player gambles and wins, trapping our 8 against the cone, I jump in. Now, I am the hunter. He shapes a pass, safe and sideways. I sell my body to that safety, then cut back at the last step. He panics, the ball straight into my shin. The square laughs at him and welcomes me back. That's Rondo, thin margins, thick jokes. 2 minus Dutch, coach calls. The volume elevates a notch. The third man gets real. The ball moves faster than any individual's pride. On a tight receive, I feel the pressure, show the wrong foot, and slither the ball across with a short, mean transfer lock roquet crush down to its smallest useful size. The defender oversteps. The lane opens. I don't admire it, I use it. After 8 minutes, we breathe in a ring and watch the steam leave our mouths like a choir. Coach points his capped pen at me. Better when you start deeper, he says. You see more. Trust it. He points the pen at our 6. Talk sooner. He's reading. Help him read earlier. We drink. We're on patterns. We work a third minus man routine that lives on timing fullback to 8. 8 to me two winger in a lane that exists for a second and then blows away like dust. When it clicks the first time, the net behind the dummy keeper jumps. When it clicks the second time, the assistant coach pockets his stopwatch and just watches. Then the bibs change. Full pitch. 11 against 11, academy standard. The left center minus back on the other side is a year older and built like he stopped growing vertically and decided to go sideways instead. He smiles like a bouncer and calls me Klein when we shake hands. Kickoff. The first 10 minutes are wind and friction. We play in thirds with an ugly seam in the middle. I drop to stitch if they kick through the thread. The referee, an academy coach with a whistle, lets it live. Good. I haven't come here for academy soft. The first break is there's an interception high, 2 quick passes, a shot that claps the bar and pings out past our keeper's glove. He yells the keeper's name like a warning and an apology. My chest tightens, then relaxes. We've been clapped. It happens. What matters is the diagram we draw next. I start deeper. Our 6 drops between center minus backs to give the fullbacks permission to be brave. The ball goes right, comes back, goes left. I arrive on the half, minus turn between their lines and carry 5 meters, just enough to wake their 6. He steps. I don't engage him, I use him. A small delay. A window breeze between center minus back and fullback. I slide the ball there at ankle height, the kind that tells your teammate run. I did the thinking. Our winger obeys. He squares first time. Our 9 arrives to beats late and still gets a toe. The keeper saves into a good photographic pose and a bad second phase. We don't reach it. Their center minus back clears and winks at me like the story is over. Fine, we'll write a longer one. The next attack, I ask for the ball under pressure early, almost rude. The call invites the foul. I take the shoulder, keep the ball, and go again. The same center minus back rides me like we're on a hill. I rotate under him with a croquet turn long, breaking into 15 meters of grass that smell like wet rubber in relief. A trailing leg tries to hook the ball. I carry it now with the laces, short, quick, teasing the foul without marrying it. Just outside the box, the winger screams for it. I give him nothing. The near minus post run looks delicious and wrong. The far minus post underlap comes late and right. I feed that ghost instead. He arrives in scene and shaves the upright by the width of a postcard. Pressure makes music in the right places when it's honest. We start to hum. The 6 finds me early and I return him late. The fullback overlaps on a debt I owe him and I pay it with interest. We win a corner. I point to the same patch of grass as last night, 15 out, near the D. The taker nods. He's seen the clip too. This time they send a marker to gnaw the space. Good. I walk him away with an exaggerated stroll, then dash back as the corner comes low. The ball skips off ahead. I let it cross my body and strike through it on the half-minus volley. The bounce makes it mean. The keeper reacts with a luxuriably's late dive and slaps it out. Our 9 swings a boot on the rebound and catches only air. A defender wallops clear into the safe gray of midfield. We recycle. We ask again. That's what this is, asking intelligent questions until someone lies. The equalizer comes in a way that will look like I planned it, and wasn't I receiving the right half-minus space with my back playful to goal? The bouncer center minus back looms. I hear his studs, not his breath. He's cheating a step to my inside to kill the seam I want. So I make a seam he doesn't want. I show him the wall, pass to our 8 and actually play it hard, knee minus high, sharp enough to make him commit. He bites, stepping to crush the return, but I don't request the return where he expects. I drop under, spin around his outside shoulder with a 2-, tried sprint that costs more than it looks like, and the 8, bless him, reads the picture. He doesn't roll it back, he stabs it into the space I just carved. I arrive first, toe it square through the defender's legs, and the winger, grinning like a thief, pushes it under the keeper. 1-1. The whistle for the half is a mercy and a dare. On the tuction we form a crescent around the coach. He doesn't deliver us peach. He draws a shape. Depth, he says, pen carving air. We push our line 5 meters when we lose it. You, he points at me, start lower. If they kill your shoulders, take their eyes. Drift vertical, make them choose between stepping and being stepped through. The second half is less friendly. They press in a way that says a few of them want Monday and don't intend to watch me take it. The first time I drop into the back line to build, their 9 hammers my hip just enough to be educational. I catalog it and give the ball early. The second time, the same 9 leaves a foot late. I step over it. He laughs. We both know what this is. I don't ask the referee for help. If Monday is coming, it won't be because a whistle loves me. We build through it. We make the field wider than it is by moving early. I draw the bouncer out again and again, and he tires of being turned into a signpost. Tired defenders learn honesty. Honest defenders are easier to read. The go minus a head goal is a piece of geometry I want to keep. Our 6 wins a header that drops at my feet. I could take it with my right and play the obvious out to the tuction. I take it with my left instead, inviting the wrong kind of pressure, then snap my right foot around it. Outside minus of minus the minus boot, an angle that begins as diagonal and ends as vertical. The ball threads between their center minus backs like it was pre-minus approved. R9, late all morning, arrives on time. He drives it under the keeper's body. He doesn't celebrate. He points at me once and turns to our half as if to pretend this was boring. 2-1. We don't stop. We won't be paid in composure, yet we cash in pressure. I almost add another on a move that begins as an accident-heavy touch cropped by necessity into a croquet past a lunging boot, then a shot heeled wide. The assistant coach yells gut without looking up from his clipboard, which is good because I don't need praise right now, I need oxygen. We finish at 3-1, a score that flatters and instructs. The bouncer center minus back claps me once on the shoulder after we shake. Muntag, he says, Monday, it's not a wish, it's a test. Back near the building, I pull my boots off by the door and knock the mud out with a key. Inside, the hallway smells of soup and grass and detergent. In the locker room, I sit and watch my breath slow across the cold mirror above the sinks, streaked by too many boys leaning to close on days like this. The phone vibrates while I'm unwrapping tape from my ankle. Unknown number with a 49 code. I consider letting it ring. I answer. This is staff from VELT-INS, minus arena. A voice says German formal. Monday, 9 sharp, north entrance. Bring both boots. We'll mix units. Keepers will rotate. You'll be with midfielders. If you're late, you're done. I'll be early, I say. Silence. A scribble sound or a shirt sleeve. Bring both boots, the voice repeats, as if I'm the kind of kid who would show with one parent a story. After I sit a minute longer and try to feel scared. It doesn't work. The fear is there, but it's busy disguising itself as preparation. On the walk to the cafeteria, the sky over the Ruhr is a gray sheet cut by birds. I eat soup that tastes of salt and vegetables and relief and watch the U15s argue over whose turn it is to returnist act of combs. No one wants to return. Afternoon brings one more meeting analysis clips in a room that always feels too warm. We watch ourselves miss angles we swear we'll see next time. We watch ourselves make angles we thought were luck and now label as skill. The coach pauses on a freeze minus frame of the equalizer and makes me narrate the decision tree out loud. I do. He nods once, says good, and moves on. At dusk, I cross the empty lot and the cold climbs up my sleeves like water. The boys peel off in pairs to the dorms, to the tram. Two lives that have to wait until football finishes with them for the day. Park steady and sits quiet, a bowl with yesterday's song still stuck to its ribs. The VELT-INS minus arena glows white in the near distance, floodlights off, ambition on. Back in my room, I lay out 2 pairs of boots and 3 pairs of socks and a shirt that has been washed enough times to forget other people's sweat. I put my notebook on the desk and write Monday in block letters, and below it the first 3 actions of the morning like a child making a checklist heat. Stretch. Arrive. I add a 4th line under it and stare at it until it fills with the thing I mean but haven't said yet. Play like the pass is the point. Then I pack the bag, switch off the light and lie awake counting seconds in sets of 30, imagining small decisions stacked like bricks, each one solid under the next until a wall becomes it or I can walk through. Monday is clean light and cold air. I wake before the alarm, eat, stretch, and leave with 2 pairs of boots and a bag packed as if forgetting one item could end a season. The tram doors breathe me out near Ernst minus Goose or a minus WEG. The VELT-INS minus arena sits white and patient ahead, the panels of its roof dull with frost. North entrance. Security checks my name against a list and looks at the boots like they're a passport. Both, he says. I hold them up. He nods, waves me through a corridor that smells of detergent and winter. A staffer meets me in a navy shark jacket and leads me down a long bright hall line with frame shirts that do more talking than he does. Mixed session means U23s, selected U19s, and a handful of first minus team players who need minutes without the cameras. In the changing room, the space answers every nervous thought with clean lines, blue benches, tape name tags, gets tacked into simple decisions. Mine reads him ID 10-8. War minus up in the dome is controlled noise, the bounce of passes, studs whispering across turf. The first minus team assistant gathers us halfway. He draws nothing in the air, just holds our eyes. 2 rules, he says. Be on time to the ball. Be on time to the idea. We start with positional rondo S8V. 3. 5 channels painted on the grass with cones. The rule is 2 touches unless the 3rd touch breaks a line. I drop off the shoulder of a U23-6, show 1 pass, play another. A center minus back, older by 4 years and twice the weight around the hips, shadows me. He doesn't bark, he nudges, testing the fact of me. The ball arrives hot. My first touch bleeds it into danger. He smiles like verdict. I fix the error with a small transfer lock roquet, compact and mean, and knife the second touch through to converging steps into the far channel. The line judge nods. The older back doesn't smile. Next pattern, he anticipates the croquet eye and plants his foot to trap me. I let the ball run farther than he expects and collect it on the outside of my right. bending away from the pressure and dragging him into a lane that isn't for him. Our winger reads it and takes off. I don't admire the picture I pass into it. First, micro-minus win. The room takes note in the way rooms like this do. Someone grunts approval. Without looking, someone else tries to take the next ball off my toes for balance. 2 minus touch. The assistant calls. Volume climbs. The game becomes the third man's, the kind where your name is best said by other people moving. When the ball gets stuck, I start deeper. Eyes are clearer from there. Sprint ladders next, then small quadrants for V. For 3 neutrals, 2 big goals, 30 seconds per rep. Points for sequences of 3 passes into a target zone before finishing. A first minus team, left back with a shaved head and thighs like Vertex, puts his hand in my back on every receive. He's not hiding the lesson. I take it. Third rep in, I stop playing where he wants me. I step across his line instead of away from it, let him push, then use his weight to spin into the pocket he abandoned. The finish at the end of that sequence is clean because the preceded it was cruel. Small climax, small nods. We run again. We shift to shadow play, 10v. Nobody pure geometry. 2 banks of mannequins mark where defenders would stand if they had the patience of plastic. The assistant sets us into a 4-3-3 that behaves like a 2-3-3 with the ball. My job is to be the right minus, sided 8 who can become a 10 on cue. 2 passes draw their imaginary line, the third breaks it, the fourth punishes the idea of trying to get it back. The first run, I hit the winger too early into flat. The assistant stops us with 1 word late. We reset. This time I carry 2 more touches, force their mannequin 6 to pick a poison, then slide the lane that now exists because someone else just died for it. The assistant says nothing. We continue. We divide for an 11v. 11 on half, a pitch with full goals. Half minus which makes everything honest. I line up a 10 for blue. The bouncer minus built center minus back from the U23s takes red's armband and stands inside my lane like it's paid for. Kickoff. Red press with adult timing, not at the first touch, but at the second when you think you're safe. I take a square pass from our 6 and knock it 1 meter back to him without checking my shoulder. The bouncer steps into that negligence and nearly eats us alive. I correct with a foul to stop the break. Whistle, nothing more. Message received. Next sequence, I check shoulder once, twice, receive on the half minus earn and carry 5 meters toward the bouncer like I want the collision. He sets. I wait, half a heartbeat long enough to make his weight grow roots, then lay it behind him to the underlapping right back. The fullback bends across early and flat. R9 eyes across the near post and glances it wide by a postcard. The bouncer looks at me like we'll talk later. We do. Corner to us. I drift to the D, make eye contact with the taker and point once. They send a marker to that grass. I walk him away, then sprint back as the ball is struck. It's Kim's ahead. I let it cross my body and strike on the hop, knee over the ball. It's Kid's fast, forcing a parry into a bad area. Our winger arrives late and turns it in. Blue up 1. Red equalize 5 minutes later because I trust a pass that doesn't turn it. I try to thread a straight ball through a closed door. The bouncer's toe says thank you, red counter in 3 passes, and their winger puts it off the far post and in. The assistant doesn't shout. He just repeats on time to the idea. Kick off. I move 5 meters deeper and sideways, which feels like retreat and is actually leverage. The next time I touch it, I pull to read shirts with me, then leave the ball for our 6 and spin beyond the traffic where the defenders have to look over shoulders they don't control. The 6 finds me there. I take a single touch and cut the pass across 3 lines to the far winger, arriving blind to everyone except me. He volleys into the roof. 2-1. The sound that follows is not celebration, it's relief to be useful. We play a third period with a constraint: every attacking move must pass through the 10 zone. It's a trap disguised as a compliment. I keep the ball moving, refusing to be the point so I can remain the hinge. Rated just by stepping their 6 on my first touch. I answer by catching the ball as tried earlier and releasing a stride later, dislocating his plan by 1 beat until he starts guessing. Yesser's foul. We take a free kick 20-2 meters out. Our left minus footer bends it over the wall and into the keeper's gloves in the photonic way that tells you he wanted the clip more than the goal. The assistant doesn't love that. He changes the constrained finish within 8 seconds of entering the final third. Blue score once more under that rule because urgency looks good on us. Whistle. We gather. The assistant checks a board where names or columns and values are the kind of numbers that say whether you're a rumor or a plan. He doesn't show it to us. He doesn't need to. Shower, he says. Analysis room in 15. Under hot water, the older players stick to their groups. No hazing stories, no folklore. This club has had its fill of stories. They are looking for solutions. A first minus team keeper, tall and calm, nods at me once at the sinks. Good weight, he says in English that carries the Rhine in it. He means on the pass that pulled him across for the second goal. I thank him and memorize the exact acceleration it took to do that. In analysis, they keep it short. 3 clips. 1 is my mistake, the straight pass read intercepted. Freeze, minus frame, laser pointer on my hips. Body says vertical, the analyst notes. Solution says diagonal. I nod and write sell one thing, do another in the notebook the kid gave me. Second clip is the equalizer. We scored how drawing one man and delaying one touch makes 3 defenders honest at once. Third clip is Reed's best press sequence. We are told we will see it again Wednesday with worse intentions and less friendly whistles. Outside the room, the academy director stands with the U23 coach. He crooks a finger. We step into a doorway that smells like paint and paper. Wednesday, the U23 coach says, original age a match. Bench, likely minutes. You train again tomorrow with the U19s, you lift with the U23s after. Bring both boots. North entrance again? I ask. Training ground entrance, he says, amused. You're not a tourist. I sign a match sheet that may or may not translate into grass time. The academy director shakes my hand like he's making a note in a ledger, only he reads. Don't change your idea of yourself because of a bench, he says. You're not there to watch. You're there to be used. I find the tram as the afternoon flattens into evening. The arena recedes, a white bowl tucked into brown trees and the long gray of the Ruhr. At the dorm, I lay out the boots again because ritual is a kind of argument with chance. I eat early and stretch until my hips stop complaining like they think they have a vote. Film time alone. I watch a highlight of an old Schalke match where all delayed a pass until the center minus back so leaned the wrong way and then made a simple ball look like a sentence with no wasted words. The clip is 13 seconds and contains more truth than a motivational speech. I copy what I can angle of shoulders, patience, cruelty with limits. I don't call home. I don't want to put any feeling anywhere except where it will have to work tomorrow. I write Wednesday's schedule in the notebook in the hand I use for back minus, post cutback school, gym pitch, film, sleep. Under it or 5 early. Under that pass to move the world. The night doesn't take me quickly. When sleep comes, it builds from pieces a corridor that smells like winter, a board with names that become columns, a center minus back's weight. The precise moment a lane opens and dares you to believe in it. In the morning, I will do the easy things that make the hard thing possible: eat, stretch, arrive. The hard thing will be making other people run where I need them to run without asking out loud. The canal between 2 clubs is wider now. Not a river yet. A line you can still pass through if you choose the right angle. Tuesday answers Monday with chores. U19 session in the morning. U23 lift in the afternoon. Film wedged between like a bookend. I hold the ball earlier, release it later, feel the hinge of my hips beginning to behave like a decision instead of a joint. The U23 coach watches from the tuction and writes notes that none of us are allowed to see. At night I pack the bag, put both pairs of boots by the door, and sleep in segments that look like patterns on a whiteboard. Wednesday opens cold and bright. Park Stadium waits with its ribs showing, the big white olive V, Elt ins, minus arena silent behind it. The U23 kit man tosses me a jersey that smells like someone else's detergent and a number I don't plan to keep long. Bench, the sheet says. It's not a sentence, it's a door you can push if you bring enough weight. Wuppertal or Rasvia, I've early red and blue, men with beards or stubble and ways of moving that say some of them already know how to be paid for this. We tape ankles, lace boots, jog into arcs that never touch. I watch their war minus up like it's a test I'm trying to cheat on without getting caught. Who opens hips to early, whose plant foot shows fear, which fullback bites when you paint the fake. Inside, the coach keeps it short. He covers transitions, warns us about their left winger straight minus line speed, taps a board where our shape becomes a clean for 3-3 with permission to become messy where it hurts them. He looks at me once. Ready when called, he says, as if there were any other way. Kickoff. Regional age of pace has its own accent. First collisions sound heavier. First pass into midfield gets chewed to see if we'll swallow it. We do barely. 10 minutes of wind and argument. Our 6 finds the pockets where he can, but Wuppertal's 9 presses like a man who isn't trying to impress anyone he's trying to eat. From the bench, the picture is wide and ruthless. I force my heart beats lower and watch for the idea behind the running. Their right back cheeks narrow when the ball is on our left. Their left center minus back hates backing up and loves stepping. The referee is stingy with sympathy and generous with advantage. All of that is usable. 15 minutes. They cut us once from our own corner, 3 passes. A sprint across that zips low through the 6 and somehow touches nobody. Our keeper claps his gloves and wakes us up with noise. The coach shouts to words I lodge behind the left ear, drop 5. We grow teeth. Our 9 harries their build and forces them into the trolley tracks near the tuction. Our fullbacks stop being shy. The match narrows into a rope minus pull. At 20-5, we almost score. Our left winger drifts inside, cuts onto his stronger foot and lashes a shot into the side, knitting like it owed him money. Wuppertal answer with a header their forward should have headed anywhere but straight at our keeper. The half ends at Burrows but not boredom. Halftime, no speeches. The coach changes our trigger for the press and swaps the 8 for fresh legs. I jog through 2 sprints on the tuction and feel the calves wake up in stages. I look once at the forest and where a few dozen people have braved the cold to pretend this is their lunch break. I look once at the door from the tunnel. No roll. Good. That was Monday's mirror. Today doesn't need it. 50. Wuppertal will target our right back with diagonal missiles that are meant as questions and insults. He answers with the right foot and enough courage to make me want to be on the pitch while he's still warm. 50-5. The assistant coach turns to me and holds up the fingers. 10 more jogs for sharp accelerations, 1 deep breath that tastes like frost and rubber. Shirt on. Word from the 4th official. Board. 50-8. I step onto the chalk and the first ball finds me like it was prearranged. Their 6 checks me with an elbow placed just within the rules of the building. I don't ask the referee to parent us. I take the contact, secure the ball with the inside of my left foot and spin under him with la croquet a compressed to a function instead of a flourish. The first pass is safe because the second one will not be. We get pinned. That's fine. I ask for the ball in the seam just to force them to make a choice. Their center minus back steps hard and late. I carry into him not to be him, but to hang him there, then let the ball go behind me to the underlapping fullback who transferred 2 meters of doubt into 5 meters of space. The cross is early and flat. Our 9 throws himself at it and misses by the width of truth. The shout from our bench is a shape with an exclamation mark. Next sequence, I start deeper. I want the whole picture. Our 6 drops between the center minus backs. The wingers hold width like they mean it. I check shoulder once, twice, receive on the half minus earn, and drive at the left center minus back who loves stepping but hates sideways. He steps. I delay 1 touch, 3 beats. A lane opens at left minus to minus, right minus to minus, left. I knife the ball there with the outside of my right boot. The right back jabs a toe and makes it look like I asked a stupid question. Fine. Ask better. They foul me at 60-6 in the ugly place between danger and distance. 20-2 meters, left of center. Our left minus footer kisses it over the wall and into the keeper's gloves. He falls like a photograph. I get the rebound for a half second. Ashun takes it. A body leans on mine with the weight of someone who owns furniture. The match tries to teach me urgency. I answer with timing. 70-2. We build down the left until they over minus invest. I drop behind our 8 and call for the wall pass where they can see me. There's 6 bites. The ball goes past me instead, trivially, obviously, and is returned to a place 3 meters beyond where I would have been if I were an idiot. I arrive there, second post, and square it first time to the penalty spot where nobody happens to be. That's on me. I log the cost. 70-5. Wuppertal will take their turn. Long throw, flick, chaos. Our keeper punches to a forest. Their forward crashes into me while pretending not to. I go down because Isaacs insists. Back up before the whistle is done scolding us. The older bodies here have graduated from academy clever to grown minus man honest. You don't out-talk them. You out-minus angle them. 70-7. I help our right back out of traffic with a simple double wall that spins their winger into the wrong postcode. The pass after the escape is the point. I carry 5 steps, lift my eyes, and paint a diagonal that crosses the whole match. Our left winger takes it at chest height, lets it fall into his stride, and runs at their fullback who is counting steps not to panic. Cut inside. Low shot, deflected corner. Small win, loud breath. I point to 15 meters again. They've done their homework, they put a man there to eat my space. I wonder. He follows. The taker whips near minus post and fast. I decoy behind him, then slam the brakes. The ball skims ahead. It arrives thigh height. I could volley, I choose not to. I cushion and roll it into the left channel where our fullback has ghosted. He hammers across. The 9 arrives, honest and heads down. The keeper gets down quicker. Very. Their center minus back clears off the line with a swing that would demolish old furniture. Groans. Hands 2 heads. Next. 80-1. The lane I've been waiting for blinks open and dares me to trust it. Our 6 wins a second ball that sits up and begs. I check into the right half minus. Space in their 6 mirrors me like a shadow with tax bills. I don't try to lose him. I let him believe proximity equals control. 1 touch forward, 1 touch across, step on it, drag, and then the tiny thing that looks like nothing if you don't see it, a quarter minus turn of the ankle that turns the ball's path from diagonal to vertical without telegraphing. The line opens behind the stepping center minus back as if someone yanked his laces. I push the pass through at hip height, pace just under violent. Our winger runs beyond it like a thief and brings it down with the same foot that began the sprint. 2 touches later, he tucks it under the keeper's arm. Net flutters in a way that makes winter look less gray. 1-0. I don't celebrate long. I grab the winger's head, say nothing, and run to where Wuppertal will try to hurt us for being impolite. Kickoff. They come. Crosses rain. A volley skips like a thrown stone and misses far by a palm. 80-6. A corner for them. Men who have shaved this morning to feel sharper gather in our 6- yard box. The ball arcs. Time expands and pretends it's generous. I mark a zone and a man and end up having to choose. The man wins the header. Our keeper chooses better than both of us and claws it off the line with a hand that belongs to a more expensive league. We convert the rebound into 30 meters of freedom, then no more. 90. The fourth official shows 3. A bad pass from us rise to undo the hour. I sprint the length of a decision, get a toe to it before their 10 does, and accept the collision that follows. The whistle gives us the gift of 10 seconds to pretend we're in control. We are not, but we can pass like we are. We do, 3 times, and a line of red and blue shirt spends itself chasing shadows it can't catch. Final whistle. The bench becomes the pitch, becomes the bench again. Hands claps the old choreography. The Wuppertal captain shakes my hand with a look reserved for children who just explained something he'd forgotten he knew. Good weight, he says in German. I file the compliment, it belongs to the pass before the goal, not the goal. Inside, steam and voices. The U23 coach reads the room, then reads the sheet that will travel upstairs. Saturday, he says, travel party, no guarantees. Tomorrow, U19 in the morning, gym with us after. Your name is not ink, make it ink. The academy director appears in the doorway before showers have cooled. He doesn't bring confetti, he brings a question. How's the ankle? So, I say, fine. Friday, he says, you'll join the first minus team group for patterns. Not full, enough to be seen. Bring both boots. I nod because saying anything else is the same as letting your face talk for you. On the tram, Park Stadium recedes, tired and pleased. The bowl of the VEL tints glows white in the reflection. My phone hums with 2 messages. The first is a clip of the goal from an account that posts original age of content with obsessive timestamps. The second is a single line from an unknown number. Play the pass early until they fear it late. No name. I don't need one. Back at the dorm, soup, stretch ice. I watch the clip once and rewound only the 2 touches before the pass. That's the part I can repeat. I mute the audio and slow it to where movement becomes instruction. On the notebook page with the kids' tidy lines, I draw the goal as a route and underline the meter where the pass had to leave or it wouldn't have mattered. Then I write, the weekend like a list of doors. Thursday U19, U23 gym. Friday first team patterns. Saturday travel. Underneath I add the only line that feels like a key beyond time to the idea. Lights off. The room goes quiet in sections. My ankle throbs once like a heartbeat stuck in the wrong place and then settles. Sleep builds itself from clean pictures, a center minus back, stepping when he shouldn't, a lane blooming out of rudeness, a ball leaving my foot at a pace that tells the truth without shouting. In the morning, the weight room will test my legs. The afternoon will test my focus. The weekend will test what the word bench means when you try to turn it into something else. Friday smells like rubber and cold water. I wait before the alarm, tapis or ankle, and pack the bag with the ritual that makes chance look manageable to pairs of boots, 3 pairs of socks, 1 shirt that dries fast, the notebook the kid handed me. At the VEL inns, minus arena, white roof dull with frost. A kitman passes me a training top with the tidy efficiency of someone who has done this for men whose names are on walls. The first minus team assistant is already on the pitch, cone set in straight lines that warn you there will be no hiding. Patterns, he says, run them until they're yours, then run them until they're boring. We open with 2 lines and a third minus man run that requires the pass before the pass to carry most of the intelligence. The mannequins stand in a 4-4-2 like patient cops. I start at right minus side at 8, step back off the shoulder of their cardboard 6, receive, carry 2 touches, and sell near minus post to the winger with my body while sliding the trube all into the fullback's under lap. The fullback bends at first time to the penalty spot. A first minus team striker arrives like he has rent due and lashes it into the side, netting with contempt. Where we set. Again. Later, the assistant says once when I hit the winger too early. Own the delay. We had a constrained 2 touches only unless the third breaks a line. The dome fills with the specific music of passes that end arguments. On my 4th rep, the near center minus back steps, reading the croquet I've loved to openly this week. I let him have his prediction. I take the ball across a stride farther than he expects and bend away with the outside of my right instead, dragging him into the wrong postcode. The coach's whistle is a single approving click. We keep moving. Shadow play next. 10v. Nobody. It should be simple, it isn't. They slide our shape into it to 3-3 with the ball, and my job is to be 10 inside of 8 without becoming a third center minus back. The mannequins are honest, they punish laziness by not reacting. I carry 2 touches, 3, until their 6 would have to step if he were human, then switch the picture with a diagonal our left winger brings down like a magician hiding a coin in plain sight. Again, the assistant says, now do it, speed. We speed up until the pattern is a habit, and the habit is a threat. The first minus team keeper takes his turn to kill my best ball with a palm that belongs on a poster. He collects the rebound and throws it back with a look that says, don't admire your work. Small minus, cited next for V. For 3 neutrals, 30 minus second reps, finish within 8 seconds of hitting the final third. A left back with thighs like vertex digs his hand into my spine. I stop playing where he wants me. I step across his pressure instead of away from it, and the bounce in his weights puts him from the ground for the half-minus second I need. The pass that follows goes through the window he didn't mean to open. Our forward, toe minus, pokes, the keeper kicks, the assistant's watch beeps, we're on time. We finish with 11v11 on half a pitch, senior defenders who speak in nudges and half-minus seconds versus mixed attackers who still love the pretty picture. The first ball into me is checked by a shoulder that would topple lighter boys. I keep it with the inside of my left, return it, spin into the space I stole with the contact, and get it back on the cut. One touch to settle, one to bend across the grain to the winger. He volleys near post. Save. Next sequence, same pattern, except I delay a beat longer and draw the 6 just 1 meter too far. The pass slices across him into a lane that wasn't available a heartbeat ago. Our 9 arrives, side minus foots into the roof and doesn't celebrate. Men who live here don't waste noise on training goals. They spend it on keeping the shape tidy for the next ball. We huddle. The assistant glances at a board with unnamed columns. Good, he says to the group. To me, quieter you're better when you start lower. You say sooner. Keep it. He points to tomorrow's board. Travel with the U23s. Ruhr-Derby Oberhausen away. Leiterhanger Stadion. Bench will be warm. Bring both boots. I nod and catch a glimpse at the far side of the dome roll in a navy coat, arms folded, speaking to the academy director. He doesn't look over. I don't try to make him. The people who matter have already seen what they were here to see, or they haven't, and staring won't alter that math. Film room at noon, cafeteria after. Soup, bread, a hill of potatoes that remembers being a field. I asked the U23 coach one question about Oberhausen's left center minus back. Steps early, he says. Hate starting. Make him turn. I write it underlined in the notebook. Steps early, hate starting. Afternoon dorm. Ice, stretch, nap that isn't sleep. I pack for Saturday with the care of someone who doesn't trust luck to be on time. Boots, tape, the notebook, a pen that sometimes skips at the worst moment. I watch one clip of Schalke years back. We're all holding the pass until the idea behind the defender breaks in public. 13 seconds, 6 truths. Saturday, the bus smells like coffee and quiet. We'll all north past Grey Ruhr and rows of houses that have seen bitter Saturday mornings. Niederrheiner Stadion is a concrete ball with a stubborn soul. Ruhr-Derby Oberhaus unwarm up in red and white, and the bodies of men who've learned to win 50-50 balls without speaking. Sheets. Names. Line bench. The U23 coach claps my shoulder. You'll go, he says. Don't count minutes before they exist. Kickoff is the kind of pace that makes youth matches feel like scrimmage. Every first touch is judged by second touches you haven't had yet. Oberhausen ride a pin us on their right, hosing diagonals over our left backs, head to see if he breaks first in pride or in hamstrings. He chooses pride, we survive by inches. From the bench, I watch the angles until they feel like instructions. Their 6 lives on a rope to deepen the bill too high when we break. The right back recovers in straight lines only. Their left center minus back loves stepping like the U23 coach said and hates turning like I wrote down. All of it useful. All of it expensive if misapplied. 20-8. They score on a second ball nobody had the kindness to claim. Scruffy contact. Ball through a forest of legs, our keeper wrong minus footed. 1-0 to them. The stand finds its voice, a loath undermade from old men and boys with loud jackets. We stabilize by ignoring the crowd and listening to the shape. Our 6 drops between the center minus backs. Our wingers pin the fullbacks so high the fullbacks start counting steps. At 30-8, we nearly equalize on a cutback that deserved a better finish. Halftime arrives like a breath into dare. In the room, the U23 coach draws nothing new. Make the center minus back turn, he repeats. If he steps, go through. If he sits, go around. Don't pick a third option that doesn't exist. 50-5. I'm cold. Warm minus up becomes the only temperature in the world. Fourth official's board glows. I step into the chalk at 50-8, and the first ball finds me as if some n-waist minus high, awkward. I choose not to kill it, I nudge it forward with the laces and ride the contact from their 6 like a train grabbing a passenger who didn't wave. The return pass is hard and honest. We're out. Oberhausen adjust their 6 stays to steps tighter, their winger fouls by education rather than malice. I accept both. 60-5. I check in short, receive on the half-minus turn, and carry at the left center minus back who loves stepping. He steps. I delay a touch. The lane beyond him breathes and dies. The pass that would have been perfect 1 beat ago is now a mistake. I don't play. I keep carrying diagonal until his hips send me a postcard that reads, I hate this. Then I do the simple thing, square pass to our 9 at the penalty spot. He hits the post. The sound is metal laughing. 70-1. A free kick for us 20 meters out, right of center. Our left minus footer stands over it with the theatrical calm of men who want their names in recaps. He bends it around the wall and into the keeper's hands. The keeper collapses like a photograph. I jog away from the rebound that never comes and file the data this goalkeeper likes to catch when he can. Rebounds will be rare. Shots must be bitter. 70-4. We build down the right until they over- commit out of boredom. I drift inside the pocket no one owned and show for the wall pass I don't intend to play. Their 6 bites. Their center -back. Poor man steps again because that is what he does in this life. I take one touch toward him as if I believe in fiction and then step across the ball with my right, carrying it onto my left, just outside the D. The keeper leans toward the pass I haven't made yet. The defenders all take a breath for the square I have sold all afternoon. I shoot. It isn't pretty. It's flat and fast. The kind of hit that drags its knuckles and refuses to rise. It skims off a toe, off the wet grass, off faith, and skips inside the far post before the keeper's second thought can become a dive. The sound is not thunder. It's a caught breath turned into a shout at the last second. 1-1. I don't throw my arms. I point to the center circle and me ties with the left center -back for one heartbeat. He looks away. He has too. The world just asked him to turn again. Kick off. They come hard. The stadium leans with them. A right back buys us 30 meters with a tackle that lands like a clean argument. 80-2. Their winger isolates me wide, thinks I'm a 10 who can be bullied. I drop. The shoulder I'm not using, nick the ball, and play out with a triangle that starts ugly and ends useful. The pass after the escape is the point diagonal that crosses the whole match and asks our left winger to be brave one more time. He is. Cut inside, low shot, saved. Corner. I don't call for 15 meters, I wander to the D and let them decide whether they care. They don't. The ball flicks near post and spits out to me shin height. I could slap it. I trap clean, wait a heartbeat to make someone commit, then thread it back through the corner of the 6 to a run no one else noticed. Our fullback meets sit and lashes. Blocked. Second ball chaos, whistle. A defender is down counting stars. The referee asks us all to remember this is a league with a schedule next week. 80-8. The match knocks on our door with a question we've rehearsed. We answer with the same sentence for different ways pass, carry. 90. The board shows 3. The stadium prepares its excuses. 90-1. Our 6 wins a duel he had no right to win and gives me the simple ball. I take it on the half- turn and don't do anything clever with it. I roll it right where it should go and trust my winger to finish the adult part of the action. He does not. He scuffs wide. That's football. The men in red and white breathe again. Final whistle finds us equal and upright. Hands claps the handshake line that keeps the league civilized. The Oberhaus uncaptain grips my wrist. Good courage, he says, the accent from farther west. He means the shot. I nod and file the compliment where it belongs under you made them expect pass. Inside, the U23 coach looks like a man measuring useful wood. You changed the problem, he says. Carry that into next week. Monday, you'll be back with the first -steam patterns. Wednesday, we host Fortuna Köln. Travel Sunday, recovery tomorrow. Bring both boots. On the bus, the concrete bowl shrinks in the window until it's only a circle of light where a game happened. My phone vibrates once. Unknown number, few words you shot because they believed the pass. Remember who made that belief? No name. I close the screen and watch the highway draw lines under us. Back in the dorm, I ice, stretch, shower, and lay both boots to dry under the radiator like tired dogs. The notebook opens with its calm lines. I draw the goal as a route that begins with a lie and ends with a truth. Under it, I write pass to move the world, shoot to punish it when it moves. The room quiets and slices. Sleep arrives as a Messi-Style back who steps because he doesn't want to turn. A 6 who bites because he thinks close equals control. A lane that blooms because impatience is a kind of charity. In the morning, the ritual will begin again, eat, stretch. Arrive in the white light will be waiting for me to prove I can be on time to it. Sundays, buses, and careful silence. I pack like I'm moving houses to pairs of boots, 3 pairs of socks, tape, the notebook the kid gave me. The U23 coach reads the squad list on the curb outside Park Stadium. My name is there without brackets. My bench. Start. He nods once when my eyes find his, as if we'd agreed to this yesterday in a language that doesn't need words. The ride to Munster is gray and winter field stitched flat to the horizon. I flip through a packet the analyst slid into my hand at breakfast past networks from Wednesday. Pressing triggers that worked for us, the places Fortuna Köln bled quietly. A page of numbers sits in the middle like a test, key progressive passes, third minus man combinations, XT the expected threat map in squares of green and yellow. To notes are underlined, you're cleaner when you start deeper and delay until the 6 chooses, then punish. I copy both into the notebook. The bus heater makes everyone drowsy. I keep my head up and let the boredom work like a stretch. Pre-UEN Stadium does not pretend. Concrete, close stands, green minus and minus black banners that have seen too many Sundays to indulge teenagers. They warm up like men who expect to be interrupted and plan to enjoy it. We change in a room that smells of detergent and alignment. Get folded into decisions. The U23 coach leans on a whiteboard and draws air. 3-5-2 when they build, he says, chalk ticking. 5 across when they defend. Their right center minus back steps early. Their 6 covers too much space and not enough angles. Your job, his pen finds me, start lower. Turn them when they step. If they don't, pass them to death. I tape an ankle and pull a shirt over a chest that wants to run already. A veteran's enter minus back claps my shoulder on the way out. Be on time, he says, and the way he says it makes it sound like evaluation more than advice. Kick off. Original age a pace again, that adult hum that knows where it wants your first touch. Pre-UEN press on the second pass, not the first, and they do it like a habit. Our 6 drops between center minus backs, inviting a line of pressure that wants to eat us where we're soft. I check shoulder twice and show for it anyway, because hiding is a decision you have to keep paying for. The first ball into me comes hot and spiteful. I take it on the back foot and feel their 8's breath on my ear. Don't fight the man, fight the idea. I let his weight pass, carry the touches at an angle that looks wrong on purpose, and watch their right center minus back choose. He steps. Good. The lane he abandoned blinks open, ugly, and perfect. I turn my hips as if to hit the winger early and roll the ball instead into the underlap that only exists because his foot is where his head used to be. Our fullback arrives on time. The cross is low and mean. Our 9 slides and misses by a business card. The net wobbles like it almost believed us. Their turn. They go long and ugly and honest. A flick, a runner, a shot that would be a story if our keeper's hand weren't the ending. He palms it around, comes boiling water. The corner spins in and out without verdict. We breathe, then insist. I start even lower. From back there, the picture speaks clearer and louder. Their 6 likes watching the ball. He hates being forced to choose between not watching and not moving. I offer him both. Receive, carry, delay to beats longer than the winger wants, then slide the pass that forces the 6 to pick a poison. He picks wrong because there is no right. Our winger cuts inside. Shots. A deflection turns quality into chaos, and we get a corner we didn't ask for. Small win, loud breath. 15. Pre-UEN figure out the hinge we prefer. The solution they trust is contact. A midfielder arrives late with a forearm. An older fullback judges my ankles without asking permission. I file each touch under education and keep showing. The ball grows lighter as the pattern becomes habit. Square to 6, drop to center minus back. Step into space, the press left empty, feed fullback, swing back in time to arrive between their lines on the half minus turn. Once we put that on the grass 3 times in a row, they're 9 points at me and shouts a word I don't need German to understand. 20-2. The first chance I receive facing our goal, spin out of pressure with a croquet strip of decoration, and drive a diagonal 30 meters toward the far corner that drags the defenders out of the photograph. The winger cushions chest minus to minus grass, checks the fullback into indecision, and rips one across the face. The keeper gets down quicker than the camera. Our 9 salutes the idea and asks for it again. They answer by stepping harder. The right center minus back now lives in the zone I want, like a chair someone dragged into the hallway. So I move the hallway. I drift 5 meters inside. Our 6 understands and finds me on the next recycle. 1 touch to invite the bite, 1 to push past it, and the angle shifts from diagonal to vertical without saying please. I slide the pass behind the stepping back at shin height, the kind that makes the recovery look like a lie. Our winger is gone. His cutback arrives where the penalty spot would be if justice were a shape. Our 9 hits it. The keeper's foot says not yet. 20-9. We take a breath with the ball and pull them side to side until someone's brain gets bored and leaves his body behind. Their 6 breaks first, chasing the shadow of a pass no one threw. That's the cue. I drop off his line, show low, draw him 1 step farther, then clip a ball over his shoulder into a channel he left open on the way to nowhere. Our fullback lopes through it and for once does not cross. He cuts it square to the top of the box where I've kept running. I meet it clean and flat, it skims a toe, skims the grass, skims the post. The stand behind the goal makes a sound invented for almost S. Half minus are gone. The numbers begin to mean something you can feel under your boots, more touches in the right places, more entries into zones that compromise the shape, more passes that force choices instead of asking permission. The U23 coach barks once from the tuction lower and I drop a meter inside my shadow. The feeling gets cleaner. So do we. 30-7. Pre-UEN punchback. Their wingback wins a duel and whips early. Our center minus back loses his footing for a half minus step. The forward pinball's a shot off the crossbar that makes a noise like a bridge complaining. Our keeper's second touch is a glare. We thank the bar in silence and restart with humility. Halftime is small instructions and big breathing. The analyst slides a tablet under my nose. The pass map looks like someone got bored and drew a spider. The spiders mean we're doing the right things. The U23 coach taps us, we're outside their 6. Live here, he says. Turn them from here. Second half. Pre-Yuian decide to hound the first pass out of the back. Good. That makes the second pass worth money. We cheat a little. Our center minus back holds the ball just long enough to look naive, then rolls it into me while their 8 jumps the ghost of the old pattern. Touch, turn, stride. The right center minus back steps because that's his job and maybe his identity. I open my hips like I'll slide the winger. I don't. I punch a ball through the seam between center minus back and 6 to our 9's back foot, hard enough to tell him exactly what to do. He lays it off 1 meter like a grown man who understands the plot. I arrive and don't shoot. I shape it left to the underlapping fullback. He doesn't shoot either. He wraps his foot around it and cuts it flat across the 6. The winger arrives late by design and hits side minus foot into far side netting. 1-0 to us. No screaming. The feeling is shape. We set quickly because respect is a way to keep the ball. Kick off. Yuian raise the temperature. They commit. The wingback high and ask if we can tell a different story under pressure. We can, but only if we stop loving our own reflection. Long sequence of nothing pretty and everything correct. 1-2s that look small until they make a feel big. Third, minus man runs that exist to pull attention, not to receive. Clearances that are passes in disguise. The coach shouts again, Weiss. We do. 60-3. They compress the middle and dare us to be boring. I accept with pleasure and play the ball sideways into a triangle that has nothing to do with the final action and everything to do with oxygen. When they exhale, I inject the angle we've been hiding. False square, touch across the body, and then the vertical that was always going to happen. Their right center minus back doesn't step this time. Progress. He retreats. Progress for us too because he hates it. I carry until his hips betray him, then slide a ball behind him at ankle height that makes his recovery look like a confession. Our 9 breaks and chooses to be generous. He swears across the keeper. Winger open net doesn't miss. 2-0. The stand says something unprintable about angles. We pull our line 10 meters lower without being told, because maturity is not a coach's voice, it's a line you draw with your feet. 70. Yuian throw on a forward who moves like a hammer. The game becomes aerial for a while, and my job becomes second balls. They land more honestly when you've already written the pass you want before the ball falls. Twice I guide them with the inside of my foot into safety that looks like audacity. Twice it works. The third time, their hammer wins a foul and the free kick whistles half a meter over the bar and into old arguments. 70-8. The attack I won for the file. We build left. I drift right. Their 6 glances once and loses me. The ball cycles through our center minus backs and into the 6. He finds me where I promised to be, outside their 10, inside their 8, far from the 9, close to the idea. I receive half minus open and see 2 passes. I choose neither. 1 toe minus lifts the ball over a leg that thought it had a say 1 outside minus. The minus boot cut bends it against the run of play into the channel. Their wingback forgotten his enthusiasm. The cutback that follows deserves a finish. Our 9 rags wide and scuffs. He puts both hands to his hair. I pat his back. We've made worse mistakes than a misborn of the right picture. 80-3. They nick 1 back if not for our keeper's left foot and a center minus back's forehead. The stadium throws its noise at us like rice at a wedding you don't want to be invited to. We ignore it by doing the smallest things right: pass weight, body shape, first touch showing 2 options, second touch executing neither because we found the third. 80-8. I am tired in ways that feel like progress. A long clearance drops at my shins and pretends to be a trap. I decide it's a pass instead and stab it into space down the right channel. Our winger chases because he trusts me to give him a chance even when the ball looks ugly. He steals 10 seconds and a throw minus in. Those seconds are worth as much as assists on nights like this. 90. The board shows 4. We spend 2 of them doing nothing provocative and everything necessary. 90-3. Their 6 finally finds a shot. Our keeper finds a hand. The last seconds burn themselves out on the chalk, near the corner flag where football goes to be sensible. Whistle, hands, claps. The line in front of their bench that means today we behave like professionals. The pre-UEM captain shakes mine and says clever, which means he's filing me under annoying to play against. I can live with that. Inside, steam and talking. The U23 coach lets the room have its noise, then folds it down with 2 sentences. We started lower. We saw sooner. We made their 6 choose. He looks at me, and you kept choosing violence with passes. Keep it. The analyst hands me a tablet with a heat map that looks like someone spilled tea on the right half minus space. Pass accuracy, entries, switches, expected threat in a strip outside their 6. I don't celebrate numbers. I collect them. The page goes in the notebook with 1 sentence. The map is the proof, not the plan. On the bus, the texts arrive like small taps teammates, sending clips, an account that posts original ages sequences with timestamps, a message from an unknown number that refuses to identify itself and has been way too often to be ignored. You are honest with the ball when tired. It says, that's rarer than people admit. Next week, they'll try to force you high. Start lower. Make them regret it. Monday, white light again. The assistant runs patterns that look like ours and feel like there's 2 touches unless the third breaks the idea behind the line. A scene, your midfielder taps my boot with his. That outside minus of minus a minus boot to reverse the picture, he says. Keep that. Don't abuse it. Tuesday, U19 morning, U23 gym. The hinge in my hips now obeys before it complains. Film after lunch, 3 clips of mistakes. 3 of the right choices at the wrong speed, 3 of the right choices at the right one. The U23 coach stops a frame just before the second goal and says, here's where you decided 9 seconds ago to pass there now. That's the job. I leave with both pairs of boots and the page in my notebook full. Under the numbers, I write the only sentence I trust this week pass first. Lower than pride, sooner than fear the rest will follow if you make it. Monday's film room is warmer than the hall and colder than the cuts. The analyst lines up clips from the last 3 matches like evidence. He doesn't perform. He points. Outside minus of minus the minus boot pass. Right channel minute 81, he says. Freeze minus frame. A red circle around the lane I love. Every staff in the league has this on a slide now. Next, clip my edge minus of minus D routine on corners, the one at 15 meters. He circles the patch, then circles a defender from Fortuna who camped on it as if he'd read my notebook. And here, he says, your croquet out of pressure. Twice in 1 half. Once was enough for the scout in the opposite stand. The U23 coach folds his arms. Congratulations, he says. You're no longer a surprise. They'll step early to your right, bump you late after release, sit a man on your 15. Good. Make them wrong. We're on a constraint session built to imitate being known. Man minus mark only a U23-6 is told to live inside my shirt. I am not allowed more than 2 touches unless the third moves the ball past 2 men. The square is small, the rules are tight. First rep, he chews my first touch and laughs. Second rep, I stop asking for the ball where he wants me. I drift 5 meters lower, then wider, then step across his pressure instead of away from it. The pass out is not pretty. It is correct. Coach whistles. Change the picture first, he says. Then ask your question. We layer a second constraint. Every pattern must finish from the weak side. That kills my favorite diagonal and resurrects my left foot. The first time, I jab the ball flat and the receiver gives me a look. The second time, I bend it enough for respect. The third time, it travels with a weight that tells the truth without shouting. Small win. Run again. Wednesday, Ailmanen Ayokin Tivoli. Concrete, yellow minus black banners, noise that arrived before we did. The team sheet says start. The U23 coach's note is 5 words, they'll fix you high. Don't. Kickoff is a fist. I can press in a 4-4 to that pretends to be a 4-2-2 when they smell blood. Their 8 is a shadow with taxes due he follows me through 2 zones and learns nothing except I am willing to take kicks and keep showing. 2 minutes in, he stamps a boot on my laces in that educated way men do when they want to test your charity. The referee tells him to smile less. I ask for the next pass anyway and meet contact with a step across rather than back. The ball leaves. His surprise arrives late. They have done homework. My 15- corner patch has a resident. My right minus foot angle gets closed by committee when I check into the right half minus space. Their right center minus back steps early and their 6th floats just behind to clean any idea I might have about turning. The trap is neat. Good. We'll spring it for us. I start lower. The picture widens. Our 6 drops between center minus backs or fullbacks step like men who know the cost and pay it. I receive with my back to their 8 and let him push until his weight writes a sentence. Then I turn into the space he can't control, not by beating him, by using him. The pass out to the far side is left minus foot, flat, 12 o'clock. Our left winger takes it like it always belonged to him, drives the fullback, wins a corner. A crowd the 6. Our taker glances at me. I shake my head once. The man on 15 smiles. Good. We go short minus long instead of tap, a return, a fast whip to the back post. Our center minus back rises, ruins 3 men's posture and heads down. The keeper's feet bail him out. The stand applauds neurosis. I can answer with a set piece of their own. The delivery is mean, the first contact cleaner. Our keeper spills and then redeems himself in one move that explains why he'll be paid more later. The rebound is hacked into the upper rows by a right back who remembers being a boy and loving the feel of clearing something that could hurt you. 15. The game reveals its thesis: they will choke my right boot and live with anything else. Fine. I lean into the left. I will pass wrong minus foots. They're 8 because he expects me to look over my right shoulder. I don't. I rate his contact, let it pin me, then bump the ball back and spin on his blind side. The return finds me exactly where he didn't want me. I carry straight, wait for this step. And when the right center minus back commits to killing my diagonal, I use the third line, the sneaky one between center minus back and fullback. The pass is modest. The effect is not. Our fullback gets there first and lashes across. The 9 is late by a breath. The net shakes like a man who almost lost his balance. They add a rotation when I receive, their winger tucks in to add a second body to the pocket. Good, 2 bodies fix themselves easier than 1. I start wider outside the line of both except a throw and bounce it back 1 meter to bait the press. When both step, I go behind them with the simplest touch, the kind that makes coaches right timing and players curse under their breath. The next pass is the pointed diagonal left minus foot into the channel their center minus back hates. Our winger cuts it back fast. The shot is tidy. A shin saves a story. The match tilts into a fistfight pretending to be a chess game. Their 8 becomes a calendar of contact. I am bruised where hips live. I don't argue. I make him turn. Every time he sets to lean on my right shoulder, I show him a picture that doesn't include that shoulder. Left minus foot tempo, 1 minus 2 at the 6, third minus man to the fullback. He has to pivot. Men hate that more than they hate losing. 30 minus 2. My first shoot now frame arrives. I receive top of the D from a recycle. They're 6 late by a step. They're 8 busy with the last picture. I sheet pass to the rights, how the one they studied, and cut back across the ball with the inside of my left. It drags low, KNUC cling. The keeper sees it late and pats it out as if petting a stray. Corner. The man on 15 stares at me like he's guarding a family heirloom. Good. I don't go there. I lurk in the crush, and at the strike I sprint past him toward the back stick. He hesitates because criminals change neighborhoods. The ball skims the near head and skitters past everyone. A boot from a defender rights a clearance that would knock down a shed. Halftime arrives because the half has spent itself. 0-0 on the board, worksheets on the grass. Inside, steam. The coach draws 2 lines and a sentence. They fix him high, he says, nodding at me. We don't accept. Start lower. Weak minus, I finish only for 10 minutes. Make them remember they have 2 flanks. Second half. They come with the same plan but different legs. The shadow at my back is fresh and angrier than the last. Good. Anger over minus commits. I receive facing my own goal, play back and wheel out into a lane he left when he sniffed blood. 2 steps and we're gone 6 into me into fullback into winger. The cross is early and low. The 9 stretches and cannot turn physics into a goal. The idea is correct. We stay with it. 50 minus 5. They swap their right center minus back. The new one steps later retreats better. He is a problem I can respect. I change the question again. I stop asking for the ball on the line between 8 and 6. I ask for it off the 9 shoulder instead, where their 6 has to decide whether to sit in front of his center minus backs or step into a corridor he hates. He steps once. I bounce in spin. He doesn't step again for 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes of daylight. The goal comes not from a pattern but from punishment of a habit. 60 minus 1. Our center minus back carries 10 meters because no one bothered to care. He finds me low. I open hips like I'll play that beloved right minus foot diagonal. Their right center minus back pre minus steps the picture with a smirk he thinks is useful. I let him have it for exactly 1 heartbeat, then cut the ball with my left foot through the seam he made by believing in me for the wrong reason. Our left winger is through. He could shoot near. He squares across the keeper instead. The 9 thumps it under the bar. 1-0. The stand turns volume into velocity. I can come crosses, cutbacks, the old honest violence of long throws. I become second minus ball, third minus man, break minus glass passer. 70, I take a clearance on my chest, feel the 8 trying to read my ribs, and choose not to protect. I lift the ball over his thigh with a small toe minus, flicked, and bend away with the outside of my right because using the thing they tried to remove is its own joy. The diagonal that follows is not brilliant. It is fast and on time. Our winger forces a save for the camera. We take nothing else from it except their breath. They adjust again when I drop. Their 9 follows me in, trying to poison our build. Good strikers hate real work. I drag him 3 times into zones where he looks like a tourist, and then leave him to find his way back while we pass around the hole he left behind. The coach applauds once. We do not look over. 70 minus 8. They nearly equalize on a header. Their substitute forward directs too lovingly toward the keeper. Our keeper earns his groceries with both hands. At the next break, the Aachen captain barks and points at me. 2 men are assigned to foul on rotation. Fine. We train for this. I stop asking for fouls to be called and start asking for contact to be part of the pass. Step across, take the hit while releasing into the channel, the contact created, run into the third minus man lane, receive again, slow the tempo because everyone else wants to speed it. Their legs hate me. That's not my problem. 80 minus 4. The corner routine we hit all week. I stand on 15 for show, marked. At the run minus up, I sprint across the top of the box as if to receive a cutback. My marker follows like a loyal dog. The ball goes deep instead. Our center minus back heads back across the face. I keep running through traffic and arrive on the far stick to nod down. It trickles along the line and is hacked out by a defender who will dream about that swing. Almost. The point wasn't the goal, it was the file we just corrupted in their analyst's head. 80-8. The last lesson. The eat arrives late again, the kind of late men apologize for with ice afterward. I write it, hurt a little, and use it. I carry pause, and because we spent an hour Monday bending my left foot into obedience, I hit a ball with the inside of my left, between center minus back and fullback that looks like mercy and is not. Our winger meets sit and tries to lift the keeper. Pun. Groan. Time. 90. 3 shown. They load the box and ask the old question. We answer with the new sentence pass, only where it matters. Carry only to move someone, clear when courage would be vanity. The whistle arrives honest. Hands. Claps. The handshake line includes a muttered clever from their eat and a look from their right center minus back that is halfway between respect and a promise to study harder. Good. Study. I will change the exam. Inside, the U23 coach waits until the room stops detonating. This is the job, he says. They read you. You wrote something else. He points his capped pen at my left boot. The analyst slides me a tablet pass map shifted 5 meters lower than last week. Left minus side diagonals up. Expected threat been moved from 1 strip to 2. Numbers that say the picture changed before the goal did. Proof, not plan. The academy director appears in the doorway with a message that lies between lines. Friday, he says, first minus team patterns with finishing. Monday, closed set. Wednesday, route minus Y session away. He leaves the rest for the grass to decide. On the bus, the concrete of Tivoli recedes into dark. My phone vibrates. The unknown number again, the same lack of ceremony. When they fix you in one square, redraw the board, it says, start lower. Turn them with the left until the right is a surprise again. I don't answer. I copy it into the notebook in smaller words, change the picture first. Back in the dorm, I ice the ankles, stretch hips until they are quiet, and lay both boots under the radiator like tools that did work. The notebook receives one map, today's pass route shifted lower, left lanes thickened, right lanes, saved for when it buys maximum pain. Under it, I write the line I believe more this week than last, delay until truth appears, pass before the lie arrives. The building cools one window at a time. Park Stadium's ribs go dark. The white bowl sleeps in the near distance. Sleep comes with a new kind of tired, one that has to do with thinking and being thought about at the same time. In the morning, pattern work again. Same cones, same rules, different answers. They'll expect the right. I'll show them the left until their notes are useless, and when they turn the page, I'll be on the next one already. Friday's dome is white and echoing. Same cones, fewer people. The first minus team assistant sets the rules with his palm to touches unless the third breaks a line finish within 8 seconds of entering the final third. Our row of mannequins holds a 4-4-2 like obedient furniture. I start low on the right minus, side at 8. First trip, I sell the winger with my shoulders and slide the underlapping fullback instead. Cutback, penalty spot, finish save. Reset. Second rep, I carry the beats longer than the winger wants, drag their mannequin 6-1 meter the wrong way, and punch a ball through where his foot would have been if he had a calendar. Striker lashes side net. Reset. The third rep lands clean outside minus of minus, the minus boot against the grain to the far lane. First minus times square, roof. Nobody celebrates. We carry the pattern until it feels like a sentence we can say in our sleep. Between drills, I jog past the far tuction and catch ball with the academy director, arms folded, tracking the pattern with the quiet attention of someone who has spent his life reducing chaos. He doesn't look over. Good. The grass is the only language that counts here. We finish in tight spaces for V. For 3 neutrals, 8 minus second rule still active. A left back plants a hand between my shoulder blades and tries to make me play where he enjoys defending. I step across his line instead of away, let the contact arrive, and use it to wheel into the pocket he just abandoned. The pass that follows goes through the window he opened with his own weight. Small nods. We're on again. Monday is a closed, sets Evan V. 7. Half pitch, gates instead of goals, coaches dragging cones between reps to redraw graphic. The first minus team assistant kills a sequence with 1 word late and then walks me 5 steps backward to where my picture starts cleaner. Start lower, he says. Delay until the 6 chooses. Punish the choice. We'd reel the same rhythm until the delay is a habit and the habit is a threat. A senior midfielder taps the outside of my right boot and says, "Wait was right." That's the signature here. Wednesday, Stadion and our Hafen Street. Trey and Essen is a red ball with noise built in. Rot minus, Weiss Essen warm with the tempo of a team that intends to take our space personally. Team sheet start. The U23 coach puts a capped pen on the board and underlines to notes their right back recovers straight. Their 6 tracks the ball like it owes him something. Kickoff is a shove. Essen press in a 4-2-3-1 that becomes a 4-4-2 when we stop pretending we can thread the first pass. I drop early. The first ball into me is firm and honest. I take it on the back foot, feel their eat lean, and carried diagonally into the space that touches his patience. He steps. The right center minus back steps with him. The seam blinks where it should. I turn my hips like I'll slide the winger and feed the underlap instead. Fullback arrives, cuts low across the 6. R9 meets it with a toe, the keeper puts a shin to it and makes himself a story. Noise, derision, next action. Essen have done their homework. My corner patch at 15 has a resident. When I check into the right half minus space, they step to bodies and float a third to kill the straight ball. 5. I start lower. Their 6 hates turning the map, says make him. Minute 12 and outside minus of minus, the minus boots for me, drags their block across. Our left winger drives his fullback and wins a corner. I don't bother looking at 15. We go short, fast whip near post. It skips heads and lands at the back stick with mouse, but no owner. A defender clears like he's saving furniture. They try direct. Long throw, flick, second ball. Our keeper chooses the punch, then the catch. The referee allows an education in forearms for the first 20 minutes. There are 8 stamps across my bootlaces once and finds the boundary. I ask for the next pass anyway and step across him at the moment his weight believes I'll step back. The ball leaves clean. His surprise arrives late. Small win. We settle into honest minutes. Our 6 drops between center minus backs. Our fullbacks grab grass like territory. I receive facing our goal, bump it, spin out, and take the return on the half minus turn. Their 6 hunts the ball, not the lane. I carry until he has to choose. When he chooses, I pass past the choice. The diagonal to the far lane is left foot flat and just early enough to be rude. Our winger cuts inside and drags the shot wide by the width of breath. Essent Arget, my right boot. Good. I use the left until the right becomes a surprise again. Minute 20 minus 6. I ride a shoulder into the back of my ribs and keep the ball alive with a croquet made smaller and meaner than the clip. The next touch is the point outside minus of minus boot infield at thigh height to a 9, who has learned to set one touch and disappear. He steps. I arrive, don't shoot, and slide their 6 the wrong way with a half minus look. The pass that follows splits fullback and center minus back. Our winger can pass or finish. He chooses finish. The keeper's glove has other plans. They counter off the save. Their right winger isolates our left back and tries to cut him in half. Our center minus back wins the race to the near post and blocks like a wall. Corner. The ball arcs to a head that has scored here before. Our keeper moves early and makes it look like he knew. He did. On the half hour, our pattern clicks. We build right through boredom, center minus back into 6. 6 into me into fullback, fullback into winger, winger back to me because we trained it that way. The right center minus back steps on instinct to kill what he thinks is my diagonal. I give him the picture he wants for one heartbeat and then cut the ball with my left between the step and the cover. Our fullback darts behind. He doesn't cross. He drags it hard to the penalty spot. Our 9 missed times glances misses. Hands 2 heads. The idea is still the point. Halftime arrives on zeros and instructions you can write on a wrist. We raise our line 10 meters when we lose it. I start a stride lower in a thought earlier. The U23 coach looks at me last. Don't chase the right, he says. Let it arrive. Second half, Essen squeeze. They're tense, it's on our 6. Their wingers narrow to trap me on first touch. I decide to be boring for 3 minutes, square back until their crowd groans at their own patience. Then the angle false square, touch across vertical through the seam, their right back left in his enthusiasm to smell the ball. Our winger breaks. The cross is early and flat. The 9 attacks Mir. He misses like a man who will remember it tonight. Minute 50 minus 6, the trap snaps. I show on the line between their 8 and 6, take the ball with my back to goal and feel a nudge that wants to turn me into a rebound. I choose not to fight it. Step across, accept the hit, release down the channel the hit created, and keep running into the third minus man lane. The return meets me outside the D. I shape pass to the right to make the keeper shift and hit low across him with my left. It skids off a calf and whistles past the far post into advertising. Groan, no next. Essen open the score off a set piece. They practice more than we do. Long free kick, second contact at the back post, knockdown, toe poke. 1-0. The stadium behaves like relief as a friend. We take the ball out of the net and put it on the center spot because the picture hasn't changed, only the numbers have. Kick-off. I start lower still, as if obeying an order nobody gave. The next sequence is clean, center minus back into 6. 6 into me, 1 touch back to 6 to pull their 10 to steps the wrong way, then the return into my stride. The right center minus back now hesitates, which is a kind of progress that can be exploited only once. I carry delay. And when he finally steps, I go where he cannot outside minus of minus, the minus boot vertical between his partner and the fullback. Our winger arrives, squares across the keeper and the 9, to his credit and our sanity, side minus foots into the roof. 1-1. I jog to the center circle and meet the right center minus back's eyes. He looks at his 6 instead. He needs a new note. Essen raise volume and elbows. Crosses pile. Our keeper parries 1, catches 1, punches 1 convincingly enough to buy us a sprint's worth of breathing. Minutes 70-1, I turn a clearance into a pass on purpose, stabbing it into space down the right to turn their fullback. Our winger buys 10 seconds and a throw minus, and that gives us a calendar page to reorganize. 70-6, the pass I want for the file we recycle through both center minus backs until their block breathes. I drop off their 6's shoulder into the square, the MLS circle for me, receive half minus open, and see two options I've taken all night. I choose neither. Ato, minus lift, skims the ball over a reaching leg, the second touch with the outside of my right, ends it against the flow into the lane, their right back forgot in his keenness to be important. The cutback comes fast. R9 arrives honest and drags it wide because he's human. I clap him once. It matters that we keep painting the picture. 80-2, Essen nearly steal it when their substitute forward goes to the back stick. He heads down. Our keeper's left foot intervenes like a policy. The rebound becomes an argument, we win with a shin and a clearance. We take what the match owes in minute 80-7. Their 6 chases the wrong shadow and ends up 3 steps to high. I check in, take on the half minus third, and carry into the strip of grass between their center minus backs that needs a name. The right center minus back delays because he remembers. The left edges toward the winger because he fears a repeat. I hold the ball one breath longer than comfort and then cut it with the outside of my right at waist height across both of them into a space. Neither is guarding because they're guarding the past. Our fullback, late by instruction, arrives from behind and passes low across the 6. Our 9 does not think. He opens his foot. 2-1. The stadium inhales and throws its air at us. We step our line back as a group without looking over. 90 shows 3. Essen throw, long and honest. I become second minus ball and time minus thief. 1 trap off the thigh into square. 1 carry into the corner to kill 20 seconds without lying. 1 foul accepted because physics and the scoreboard agree with it. Whistle. Hands. Claps. The handshake line includes a clever from their 6 and a stare from the right center minus back that promises study. Good. Let him. I will change the exam. In the tunnel, as steam rolls off men who have done enough running to be quiet, Raul appears in the doorway with the academy director. He doesn't make a speech. He just watches me for a second that contains the match. Start lower, he says, almost to the wall. Delay until the choice appears. Then he's gone because that's how actual advice travels here, short and heavy. Inside the room, the U23 coach lets the noise thin and then folds it with a palm. We change the picture before they change the notes. He says, Friday, patterns with finishing. Monday, close set. Keep the left ready until the right hurts them again. The analyst slides a tablet across heat in the right half minus. Space 5 meters lower than last week. Left minus side diagonals up again. Expected threat spread like a ribbon from the D to the far channel. Proof, not playing. On the bus, Essen's red bowl shrinks into a band of light. My phone buzzes once. The unknown number again, you use the delay to move men instead of the ball. Keep that. Next week, they'll sit on your 15 and your shoulder. Draw them, then go through. I don't answer. In the dorm, boots under the radiator, I saw an ankle that kept its promises. I open the kid's notebook and draw the 2 goals as roots. In the margin, I write what the day taught and the meant or repeated start lower delay until the choice appears past where the choice isn't. The building cools window by window. Park Stadium's ribs go dark. The bowl sleeps. I sleep with the clean picture in my head to center minus backs guarding yesterday, or run arriving from behind the camera, the ball leaving my foot at the only weight that made sense. Tomorrow we will go back under the white light and make the pattern boring again until somebody else finds it exciting for the wrong reasons.